All right, welcome back to the KFYR Plus News Desk. And new data released last week from ADP Pay Insights now finds job stayers in the state of North Dakota who were with the same employer in the current months and 12 months earlier saw their wages increase by a little better than 5% year over year from January 24 to January 25, which ranked now number 7 amongst all states in wage growth. Joining me right now to break down some of these numbers is ADP's research's lead data scientist, Liv Wang. Welcome, Liv. Thank you for your time today.
Thanks for your interest.
You got it. So, Liv, can you explain the significance of the 5.3% wage growth for job stayers in the state of North Dakota?
Sure. Before getting into that, I want to give a little bit introduction of the pay insights. We use this unique methodology to track the same individual's pay over time. Each month, the ADP Pay Insights report measure more than 14.8 million U.S. workers' pay change from private sector. In North Dakota, we found the job stayers who had stayed with the same employer in the current month and 12 months earlier found their wage increase 5.3% year over year from January 2024 to January 2025, which ranks number 7 among all the states for wage growth. Nationally, this number, the median pay growth for job stayers, is only at 4.7%. And this number hasn't changed over the last few months. So North Dakota, to pay change is 0.6% higher than the national level. And this number is also really stand out in the Midwest region. In the state, the unemployment rate is only at 2.5%, which is much lower than the national's 4.1% in December. This is another evidence that the state's local labor market is very strong.
You did go over some of the numbers there. How sustainable do you think this 5.3% wage growth is for job stayers in the state of North Dakota?
That's a really good question because we do see a very high or elevated number during the pandemic recovery period, but we've seen those pay growth has slowed to a more sustainable level. Especially for North Dakota, the number has been steadily going down in the last couple of months.
What factors might be contributing to the relatively high ranking in wage growth for the state of North Dakota, Liv?
After the COVID, there are a lot of moving parts. There's labor shortage, and employers and employees were moving. So those factors all contributed to a higher wage growth. But after a lot of things are stable now, so we see the wage trend going to a more stable level.
Do you know if there's any specific industries in the state that are driving this wage growth?
We do have the industry by state level, but overall in the last months, for the whole nation, we see the top growth industry are construction, healthcare, and education, and financial activities.
Are there any potential risks or challenge that could impact now future wage growth in North Dakota?
Yeah, the inflation rate is still high for all the areas. There are rising cost of living and housing price. I think that employers in the state are really on track of retaining the talent in terms of wage growth and also keep up with those rising costs of living.
Do we have to worry about the proposed Trump tariffs?
So there's a lot of controversial factors for the administration. I hope the local government and the labor market can tackle those down.
Can you explain how ADP Pay Insights collects and analyzes this wage data?
Yeah, the special part of this report is we track the same individual over time. So we are not compare different group of people, but we look at the employees' growth over time, we can do that because we have a really, really large sample. We start with a base of 23 million US workers. Then we match them from the data a year earlier. That gives us around 14 or 15 million wage growth observation every month.
How about how do wage trends in North Dakota compare across different sectors?
As I mentioned, overall, in the last month, the employment data from ADP shows the consumer-facing industry is doing very well, but the production, like manufacturing, are shedding jobs. We expect that to be seen in the local labor market too.
Okay. What does this wage growth mean for the average worker in North Dakota?
So I think North Dakota is a very good place for workers to go for now because the wage growth ranked high among all the states, and the wage growth is also, the job growth is also very stable.
So with wage growth, do we have to worry about cost of living and quality of life?
Yeah, we definitely need to compare the wage growth to the inflation rate, which is the growth of cost of living.
Okay. And Liv, why do you think wage growth for job changers is declining nationally while job stayers are seeing an increase?
So nationally, the job stayers' wage growth and the job changers' wage growth are all very stable during the last couple of months. But the job changer usually claim a premium, so that makes the job changers number is a little higher than the job stayers' wage growth. But the trend are getting stable now.
Okay. And what indicators should we watch to predict future wage growths in the state?
We should keep tracking the change in the wage growth and also compare it to the national level.
Okay. And Liv, I'd like for you to put on the crystal ball if you could. Can you predict for the wage growth trends in North Dakota and also nationally in the next year?
Since we're already seeing this stabilized trend, we will continue to expect a more stable wage growth in the coming year.
Okay. And what advice do you give to job stayers in North Dakota looking to maximize their wage growth?
I think it's very important to communicate with your employer so they can have a good expectation and in terms of negotiate their contract and wage growth.
Okay, Liv Wang, ADP's research lead data scientist. Thank you so much for your insight on that. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
You got it. All right, 8 minutes after the top of the hour, let's take a quick break here at the news desk. We'll be right back with the day's top headlines next on KFYR Plus.